This is Daily Armenia, ΣիվիլNeթ's daily news digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia today. Armenian Defense Minister Suren Papikyan yesterday dismissed media speculations that the country had agreed to buy a dozen fighter jets from India. There is no such agreement between us, Papikyan said, commenting on reports that Yerevan planned to purchase Russian-made Sukhoi Su-30 Mk jets worth up to $3 billion. The claims first appeared in Indian publications and were later picked up by several Armenian media outlets. The reported deal was described as a counterbalance to Pakistan's delivery of Chinese-made JF-17 fighter jets to Azerbaijan earlier this year. While Armenia has indeed purchased various types of Indian weaponry, including air defense systems, multiple launch rocket systems, and howitzers, none of these deliveries have been officially confirmed by Yerevan. The transactions, however, have been verified by Indian defense sources. Armenia's current Air Force inventory includes 4 Russian Sukhoi Su-30SM fighters and 14 older Soviet-era Su-25 attack aircraft. Armenia has been devastated by the killing of Tigran Ovanesov, a 3-year-old boy from the eastern Geharkunik region who was reported missing last Monday after a week-long search involving hundreds of volunteers and more than 100 police officers. His body was found on Sunday. The child's father, a local villager, was arrested yesterday and charged with murder, Interior Minister Arpine Sargsyan said in a statement. She added that no further details could be disclosed at this stage due to the ongoing investigation. According to media reports, the man allegedly strangled his son to death following a quarrel with his wife, suspecting the child was not his biological son. Reports also say that the boy's older brother was present during the incident. The suspect faces a possible life sentence if convicted. A member of the volunteer search team told local media that the body was discovered in an area that had been repeatedly examined during the search. This has led to speculation that the body might have been placed there later, possibly to make the death appear as an accident involving a lost child. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev yesterday once again called for the return of Azerbaijanis to Armenia and repeated revisionist claims about Armenian history and territory. Armenia should not be afraid of Azerbaijanis returning. I said it before, that we should return not on tanks, but on cars, Aliyev said in his speech at the Azerbaijani Academy of Sciences, adding that Armenians were settled in Karabakh by Tsarist Russia from Iran and eastern Anatolia, and that the place names of the territories of Armenia on Russian maps of the 20th century are mainly Azerbaijani. He also claimed that there is no lake called Lake Sevan on those maps, but there is Lake Gokcha. This marks the first time Aliyev has invoked such rhetoric since the August 8th peace declaration in Washington. Before that, he had frequently referred to Armenia as historic Azerbaijani lands, part of a broader state narrative aimed at redefining regional history. Azerbaijan has a long record of promoting historical revisionism for political purposes, including a narrative that argues that the word Armenia, as found in ancient sources, does not refer to the ancestors of today's Armenians. In recent years, such revisionism has evolved into the state-backed concept of Western Azerbaijan, a term Azerbaijani officials use not for the Iranian province of that name, but for the Republic of Armenia. Several organizations describing themselves as communities of Western Azerbaijani refugees have been created with government support, alongside a dedicated television channel and efforts to assign Azerbaijani language names to towns and regions across Armenia. A recent report by the Georgian outlet OC Media confirmed that these initiatives are directly funded by the Azerbaijani government. At its peak in 1979, the Azerbaijani population of Armenia numbered around 160,000. By the late 1980s, amid the escalation of the Karabakh conflict, nearly all of them had left Armenia, as Armenians were simultaneously forced to flee Azerbaijan. The Armenian population in Soviet Azerbaijan peaked at 483,000 in 1970 and is now believed to be between several hundreds and several thousands, mostly women married to Azerbaijanis since the Soviet era or children from such mixed marriages. The Armenian government has consistently rejected Baku's Western Azerbaijan narrative and dismissed any prospects of Azerbaijani repatriation to Armenian territory. In public statements, it also does not seek repatriation of Armenians to Karabakh or Azerbaijan proper. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.